from the new day. Give me that whole year. Give it to me. I need it.
Hello and a very happy Boxing Day to everyone watching this from across the UK and across the world. Hope you're all having a wonderful day so far. My name is Ant. Today, I'm joined by the Muhammad Ali to my Joe Frazier. It's
Dom, floating like a butterfly and stinging like a bee. Like a wobbly bee, yeah.
A wobbly bee. Thank you so much for joining us. We're pre-recording all of this to give you some content of the Christmas period. But we hope that you've had a wonderful Christmas. Hope you've spent some time with your family. We hope you all have full bellies. We hope you're all hungover if you're allowed to drink.
Yeah, we just hope you've had a somewhat of a new year. You know, I can't really say Happy New Year because obviously it's difficult times, but we hope you've had a new year. We hope you've had a good celebration.
Let's just get to 2021, eh?
Yeah, we hope it's as happy as it can possibly be.
We also released a video a couple of days ago with our top 10 superstars of the year, and tomorrow we've got our predictions for 2021, so come and hang out with us for that. It will be going, a premiere of it will be happening tomorrow. Right, should we go into our top 10 matches of the year? This has been hard.
Yeah, it's hard. We always have a little bit of a debate. I do like doing these end of year lists with you. It's always interesting. It is because we like to have a little debate.
We've got very different opinions, don't we, Dom?
Yeah, but well, actually, no, we're on the same page on a lot of these.
Yeah, well, I wrote out the list and you was like, I want the Firefly Funhouse on there, and then I was like, hang on, let's talk about this. Let me show you what we've got, and then you was like, oh yeah. So it's interesting, but obviously we've got our honourable mentions and all stuff like that. Should we go straight into it, my brother?
Yes, I think we should. Let's do it.
Number 10. It's a big match. It's one of the biggest matches of the year, in fact. It's the Royal Rumble, the Men's Royal Rumble 2020. What a match, Dom.
You got to put this in there for the Edge return, the Drew, the kind of the making of Drew McIntyre. One of the best moments of the year, and obviously with fans as well, which is become not normal.
A novelty,
a novelty,
2020.
Yeah. So I think those are two moments that make it stand out for me. But yeah, it was a brilliant Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I think what made this for me is that Brock Lesnar thing was brilliant at the start, and I remember we saw several other podcasters saying that it was, really boring and it was Brock was just beating everyone and stuff like that. I was like, nah, man, whoever gets him out is getting the rub. Happen. And you had Brock versus, you had the return of MVP as well as part of that Rumble.
You had Keith Lee there as well.
Keith Lee standing face to face with Brock, which was a brilliant moment, man.
I'll always remember Brock Lesnar mouthing, Big boy.
Big boy, yeah, man.
Big boy.
Oh, big boy. And then obviously Drew McIntyre. And you mentioned Edge return, but it wasn't just like Edge debuting in the Rumble. It was Edge like returning and showing everyone that he could wrestle. And I think that's what made it the biggest debut of the year, because not only did he sort of pop the crowd, but he had a really great showing in that Royal Rumble.
Yeah. People were scared, and I guess he showed people there was a reason not to be scared, for his safety.
Yeah, it was great, man. Absolutely brilliant. Let's go into our number 9 pick. The number 9 pick is the Parking Lot Brawl. This was on AEW Dynamite, and it featured the Best Friends versus Santana and Ortiz. And what a match!
Yeah, you were raving about this for weeks, Anthony.
Oh man, it was like watching a really good hardcore match in like ECW or something like that. It was relentless. It was filmed really well. And ironically, because it was a similar sort of setup to the Velveteen Dream and Adam Cole match that they had on earlier this year, the cinematic match that was one of the weaker cinematic matches of the year, I think.
Yeah, very much so.
This was exactly how you did that. It felt real. It felt brutal. It felt like 4 men going at it, and there was a lot of blood in it at the end. And I loved the Orange Cassidy coming out and doing the orange punch towards the end to help Best Friends win. I don't know if it needed that, but I love the visual of them all.
Nice touch.
I loved them all getting in the car with Sue, who'd obviously been a part of this feud as well, and Sue just flicking them all off as she drove off. I thought that was wonderful. Any thoughts on this match, Dom?
Yeah, just entertaining. I enjoyed your enthusiasm on it, really, and obviously, Best Friends were kind of a slow burner for me.
Yeah, man, me too.
Whereas Santana and Ortiz have always been brilliant.
Talented, yeah.
But yeah, really entertaining. Showed how these four guys could really carry a card, because obviously this was a lot of people's favourite match from that particular Dynamite card, and also I think it was a lot of people's most, at least entertaining. Whether it was in their top 10 list, they can't deny that this was one of the more entertaining matches of the year.
Absolutely, and interesting. Let's go on to number 8, and number 8 just so happens to also be the greatest wrestling match of all time ever. Super ready to go. It's gonna happen. It's the greatest Royal Randy Orton and Edge.
The greatest Royal.
It's just Randy Orton and Edge, isn't it?
I mean, it was the greatest wrestling match ever, apparently, but it was Randy Orton and Edge, and it was good. It was great to see Edge in fine form. They obviously had to make do with being in the Performance Center, and they had a good go. It was all right. I thought
it was great. I thought it was a really good match. I thought it was way better than the bloody WrestleMania match.
Well, it was great to see. Like I say, it was inventive, and it was WWE adapting very well to the COVID era, and to established stars adapting very well to the COVID era. Both of them got moves in from each other, and it was back and forth, and it will go down as a classic.
It was a great wrestling match.
In years to come, it will go down as a classic.
Yeah, it was a great wrestling match worked by two hard workers in the ring. Obviously, at the start of the match, we also had the introduction by Howard Finkel, which is a nice little touch because he died a couple of weeks prior to the actual match happening, hadn't he? And then we had these two, and it was a pre-filmed match. It wasn't a live match. So there were several segments that they could really sort of fine-tune, I guess. If something went wrong, they'd go back and refilm it, similar to how they did the Inferno match, TLC. And yeah, I just thought this was a brilliant match, and I didn't expect it to be. The build for it was terrible. I mean, when you start saying something's going to be the best match ever, you better deliver.
Yeah,
and
it was like...
This delivered.
It was the most hyped up match, I think, of all time.
Yeah.
Or one of them.
Yeah.
In terms of its marketing.
Yeah.
And it delivered as best. It's not the greatest wrestling match of all time.
No, but it was brilliant.
But it was good enough.
Yeah, man, absolutely agreed. Cool. And then at the end of the match was interesting as well. And I don't think they played up the end of this match enough, actually. Because after this sort of two wrestling technicians in the ring were sort of trying the best to get the over on each other, Randy Orton ends up getting the win with the low blow to Edge. And I wish that was played up a little bit more. I don't think the camera angle was very good. But yeah, the fact that he sort of ruined this match with a dodgy finish, and hopefully when Edge comes back, that'll be something that they play on a little bit more.
Absolutely, yeah.
Cool. At number 7, we have another AEW match, Dom. We have the Stadium Stampede at Double or Nothing. Mental match. Have you got much to say about this, Dom?
Yeah, so entertaining. Great showcase for Sammy Guevara's comedy skills. Matt Hardy as well in that. Jericho.
Which version of Matt Hardy? Every version was in this match. Just
very funny. Just very funny. Very entertaining. They made something that was ridiculous into something that was very, very watchable. And yeah, I was a massive fan of it, and it deserves to be on many people's matches of the year list.
Yeah, I mean, it was just wildly entertaining, from like Jericho judo affecting a mascot to the suplexes across the entire field at the stadium. The Young Bucks coming back, returning and doing their massive spots off the, what they're called, the posts things,
Yeah.
The Adam Page section where he was in the bar and him and Hager were fighting in a bar like it was an old Western scene. This was one of the matches that I thought did comedy really, really well. I thought it was comic, but at the same time there was so much going on. It thoroughly entertained me, man.
Yeah, really, really entertaining. Really enjoyable.
Entertaining. At number 6, we have another cinematic match, and what we are calling, I suppose, our cinematic match of the year. And we have number 6 as the Boneyard match. I think we both disagree. I know that you've got a better cinematic match of the year, but I think that this is more suitable placed in this list.
I think it's The Undertaker and it's AJ Styles, two of the greatest of all time, in a cinematic match.
Yeah.
Undertaker putting over AJ Styles while also beating him. It was AJ Styles. When you look at it, he has all all the reasons why they shouldn't have put him in that position. He's an Impact lifer. He wasn't. People never thought he was going to be in WWE in the first place, and then he ends up in Undertaker's last match, effectively.
Yeah,
and it was great to see that, and it was a good match. AJ Styles did all the, did a lot of work on it. Great. Sadly, sad to see that Gallows and Anderson didn't do anything else after this. Of course,
main evented WrestleMania, and then there was off not long after.
Shipped off to Impact Wrestling, but weird, odd in that respect, but very entertaining, and a great send off for the Undertaker.
Agreed, man. And that final image of him sort of on the bike with the logo in the background, riding off into the sunset with Metallica playing, it's actually a really nice way to sort of end the Undertaker. And I also think one of the things about this match that was so unexpected for everyone is how this was the first cinematic of the COVID era, and WWE haven't done many cinematic matches in the past. I mean, you could argue they have. They did Goldust and Roddy Piper at WrestleMania 12, I think it was.
Yeah, of course.
But this felt like the first sort of, and they did the Hardy Compound sort of rehash as well. But this felt like the first sort of new big one, and it sort of paved the way for a couple of these sort of matches throughout the year. And I just thought it was an entertaining match that you could show anyone and they'd just enjoy watching it.
I think if you've showed, so if you were going to show someone about wrestling and how weird and wonderful it can be, then that's a match you show them,
Absolutely, yeah. At number 6, we have a triple threat ladder match. We have AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, Jeff Hardy at Clash of Champions. Talk to me about this, because you did the watch along on this one.
Yeah, it was great, man. It was just a fantastic match. Really, really, really great showcase for all three of those guys. Seeing Jeff Hardy in that prominent position, kind of reinvigorating his career in this way. After Matt Hardy obviously went to AEW, it is great to see, and obviously him playing off against AJ Styles. It was just a great match for me. Just a brilliant showcase for three fantastic wrestlers who have managed to maintain long careers, doing quality work.
Yeah, I think the dynamic with Sami was brilliant in this match. Sami Zayn, the sort of because he handcuffed Jeff Hardy's ear to the ladders, didn't he, and stuff like this.
Yeah.
It was just it was wild and such a good match worked by three of the best in the world, and that's why it's on the list. It was a wonderful match, Tom.
Absolutely great to see Sami Zayn be included in this, because I don't think he gets enough credit sometimes for the quality of his work. Obviously, we do talk a lot about AJ Styles, and we have talked a lot in the past about Jeff Hardy
for good reason as well. Yeah.
But Sami Zayn deserves a lot of plaudits for his work,
and in this match especially, because I feel like he was the best part of this match. I feel like his heel work was actually
his heel work was exceptional here. Yeah,
absolutely brilliant. Really, really sort of pushed that character forward. At number 5, we have the Young Bucks versus FTR. That was at Full Gear this year. What a match! A tribute, an absolute tribute to tag team wrestling. For years, the tease of FTR versus Young Bucks has been happening. And what we got was not FTR versus the Young Bucks at all. Before the match, Matt Jackson had his knee injured. At the start of the match, early on, FTR had the fist taken away from them by injuring the hand. So we see two teams that, instead of using their own style against each other, harken back to the classics of wrestling and classics of wrestling tag teams. And we get the Heart Attack, we get the
pile driver, that really harsh sort of
the spike pile driver, the brainbusters.
Some fantastic matches, and particularly a showcase, I think,
3Ds.
For Hangman.
We got 3Ds.
Yeah, we got 3Ds.
Swantons.
Particularly a showcase for Hangman Page, because obviously, the others are
Young Bucks versus FTR. This one is.
Young Bucks for FTR. Particularly a showcase for the FTR post WWE.
Yeah,
because
man.
Again, we weren't sure how it was going to go. You know what I mean?
No.
They were hyped up while they were in NXT. They had
great matches in NXT with Ciampa and Gargano.
Yeah, but then they kind of lost it on the main roster, like Gallows and Anderson and other people that we've mentioned in some of these videos, and all the promise in the world in WWE, all the opportunity in the world, but just never given that offered quite silly gimmicks and things that most people would pass over. I think I remember seeing some of the outfits that Vince wanted them to wear and stuff, which led them to leaving. But yeah, a serious tag team with serious skill, and great to see them doing, real proving ground for them post WWE.
Absolutely, and I love the ending of the match as well, man. The FTR go for flips. The ground and pound of FTR eventually go for flips, and because he misses, it ends up costing him the match. I think it's beautiful. It was a beautiful story. It was a beautiful tag team match. And I'm sure a lot of people will choose that as the tag team match of the year or the favourite tag team match of all time. We're going to carry on with this list, though, because we might have another one in here, man.
We do.
Rock and roll. Let's talk. You talk about number 4, dude. Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens at TLC.
I think we were pleasantly surprised by that match. It was one of probably the pay-per-view of the year, in a very dark year in 2020. Great showcase, of course, for Kevin Owens. I use the word showcase quite a lot because we, in the same way that in the previous pick, we hadn't seen FTR in AEW properly and hadn't seen what they could do. Kevin Owens had a pretty middling year.
Yeah. Agreed.
To this point, and then basically knocked it out of the park.
Oh yeah.
For me, completely blew. And me and you have talked for years about Kevin Owens' potential, the John Cena thing, and all. He's had a lot of, he's had a Universal Championship run, of course, but he was squashed by Goldberg. Always the potential of Kevin Owens, always the possibilities for Kevin Owens, and finally TLC, Anthony, saw us realize that potential and those possibilities.
Yeah, the weird thing is, I don't know if that was WWE's intention, Dom. I think their intention was to put over Reigns, but actually what they've got here is a star in Kevin Owens, and we'll have to see how 2021 plays out to see how that pays off, or if they let it pay off.
Well, they have a following rematch coming up, and it's an odd placement, like I say, one of those things. I think they are going to have rematches and they are going to have matches, but my hope is that whatever they do, with Kevin Owens in the future, he doesn't get squashed, because he's shown that he can more than stand against Roman Reigns.
I think that what was great about this match, going into this match in particular, was Kevin Owens' fight. The moment that he came out during Roman Reigns' entrance and brought the fight to him, it felt like he was constantly fighting to win this match. And it felt like he always had the odds stacked against him. And through the tables he went through fighting off Jey Uso, who returns to, like the cleverness of trying to manipulate Jey Uso's feet so that he can't do the super kick, because that's the move that he'll do to Kevin to get him out. I just thought it was great. And also Roman's arrogance in this match as well, sort of climbing up the ladder, looking back at Kevin and going, because Kevin was trying to hold on, still fighting, and Roman's like, look, that's fine, I'll come and beat the living crap out of you a little bit more, and did. And it was a genuinely exciting match to watch, because we all wanted to see Kevin do it, but both of these men put on a wonderful match, told a wonderful story here.
And of course, and Roman had to win with a low blow as well. This dominating heel, he had to win with the low blow, and I think that is, it was a great story, like you say, great story.
Really good, really well done. It really shocked me. I didn't think we'd ever have a Roman Reigns on a top 10 matches of the year list. That was a dig. Let's go for number 3, Dom. Bayley versus Sasha Banks at Hell in a Cell, or Hull in a Cell, should we say?
Hull in a Cell. Yeah, again, just brilliant work from. I've not always been sold on Bayley and Sasha, but this it's purely and simply sold me on them as individual, performers. Just fantastic work from both of them. Really good back and forth. Obviously, selling that story. And you've talked about the lack of story in WWE this year, but these two could put together a fantastic story, Anthony.
Yeah, well, both in the ring and leading up to it. These two carried the company for 6 months during the darkest, probably the hardest time in wrestling in the past for a long time.
Well, probably ever.
I mean,
historically,
They had a really hard job to do, and these two carried it. I was really fearful when we got to Hell in a Cell. So like, why at the same as Mania? It's been building up for years. Why are we putting them in a Hell in a Cell for the first match? But actually, the match was wonderfully entertaining. The pair of them did great work, and yeah, it was the best Hell in a Cell match on that card for me, definitely. And I always love the Hell in a Cell, man.
100%. They're again fantastic, and obviously, Sasha Banks goes on to the Mandalorian and doing great stuff this year. But I think for all that mainstream success, she should be remembered for this Hell in a Cell match as a defining moment.
And in terms of female Hell in a Cell matches, like it doesn't always work. I don't think the Sasha Charlotte one worked very well. Which was the first Hell in a Cell match. And then we had Sasha and Becky that was a lot better. And for me, this was the best of the lot of them. And part of that is the story that was going into it. But actually, the match themselves, Sasha she's a wrestler who really tries to constantly reinvent herself in the ring. I'm not the biggest Sasha Banks fan in the world, because I don't think a match has always worked. But
I would agree with you.
I appreciate her trying stuff. And when it hits, like it did tonight, during the Hell in a Cell match, it really hits, really she knocks it out the park, and it was outstanding. So that's why it's our number 3. 100%. Should we go on to our number 2, Dom?
Go on, mate.
It is the Young Bucks versus Kenny Omega and Adam Page Revolution.
This is your greatest tag team match of all time, and certainly one of mine. This is what I meant to say in the previous list. I think it was a great showcase, particularly for Hangman Page. Kenny Omega has the worldwide acclaim. The Young Bucks have the worldwide acclaim. Hangman Page has done amazing things in Ring of Honor. He's done amazing things in wrestling promotions. But this was his global showcase. This was a global showcase for Hangman Page on a big pay-per-view level to put on one of the greatest matches of all time. So again, great showcase for Adam Page. Fantastic work and chemistry, as you would expect from Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. These guys have fought together, teamed together, rode together, slept in hotels together for years, so there is chemistry automatically there. So particularly my affections in this match go to Hangman Page for his work, because again, they were still doing that kind of will they, won't they break up heel face dynamic thing, which is hard to do. It's hard to do, and the only legitimate character that could lay any claim to doing anything like Stone Cold Steve Austin in the modern era, I believe, is Hangman Adam Page. And I think this all played towards that character development and mainstream appeal, hopeful potential mainstream appeal, because, let's face it, Hangman Page is a good-looking lad with a lot of talent. This was a worldwide showcase and an absolute brilliant bit of work from Hangman Adam Page, and almost by numbers brilliance from Kenny Omega. I expect brilliance from him.
The brilliance in this match is something that was massive about the Page and Omega run, and the brilliance wasn't Omega putting himself over. It was him working to put Page over. Yeah. This match had so much of Kenny Omega getting beat, and it was Adam Page that came in and made the save. Yeah. And I feel like all of the matches that Kenny Omega had in this sort of tag run, and I think it made people realize, like, because when Page and Omega got together, it was like, why haven't we got the single star that is Kenny Omega? Why is he doing this? What's the point in this? But actually, the point was he was putting over Hangman Adam Page all the time, and this is a match that really highlights this. And Page, you're right, he absolutely looks the strongest, and I don't know if that's because he's the best out of the 4 guys in there, or if they all helped elevate him. And we saw some wonderful moves, from the golden trigger again. The V trigger golden. It was a callback to the Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega one. The Golden Elite, I think it was called. We just saw so much in this match. It's fun. It's dynamic. I'd advise anyone to go back and watch it. And absolutely. And a lot of people are saying like the Young Bucks FTR was their favorite tag match of the year, and I get that. But actually, this was mine. This was wonderful tag team wrestling.
More because, FTR classic tag team, Young Bucks classic tag team, but particularly the story here between Page and Omega and the Bucks, there was so much deep storytelling here.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
That made it to me a more exciting prospect.
Yeah, and Young Bucks versus FTR wasn't a Young Bucks FTR match, and that's not a slight on them, because it's still in the top 10 our top 10 matches of the year. Cool. Let's go with our honourable mentions, Dom. So, a couple of honourable mentions. We have Thunder Rosa versus Priscilla Kelly in NWA match, Dom.
Yeah, absolutely. That was NWA Shockwave, the series that they started doing at the end of the year in response to NWA Power, of course, going offline, because that was with crowds. But NWA Shockwave was specific to the COVID era, so they could do a TV show during this time. And, we have expected great things from Thunder Rosa, as people will know her from Lucha Underground, from AEW now as well. Great work as the NWA champion previously, and just some amazing work. But I think it was cool to see Priscilla Kelly, who many will know as she's done great work on the independents. Of course, a lot of people do know her, unfortunately, as she's trying to sort of shake this image. She was Darby Allin's former partner, but she has all the talent in the world to make her stand out as a character beyond that association, and I think that was one of her goals, and why she didn't end up in AEW was to stand on her own 2 feet in NWA, a classic promotion which champions classic wrestling, and it was a classic match. Great technical ability from both, but great fire and energy and resilience from both competitors. I would venture to say this is my favorite Thunder Rosa match I've seen.
Cool.
And I think
I need to watch it.
It was an underdog performance from Priscilla Kelly, because I don't think people expected it to be as good as it was.
Cool. Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles SmackDown.
Yep. SmackDowns haven't been wonderful, have they, Anthony, this year? But that was a real gem.
It was very early on in the sort of COVID era, and it showed us that we can still get these incredible matches on SmackDown, and they did a great job. It very nearly made the list, to be perfectly honest.
Real gem, yeah. Moxley
versus Minoru Suzuki. That was at Wrestle Kingdom earlier this year. Again, look, if you want to see Moxley have a fight, this is a fight, and if you know about Minoru Suzuki, this was a brawl. This was your brawl match of the year for sure.
You're not a huge Moxley fan.
No.
Are you? But I think if you get him in his element, which is like the Kenny Omega thing, a couple of years back,
full gear last year,
that kind of hardcore, CZW, John Moxley is very much his element.
Absolutely. Another one would be Omega versus Omega and Page again versus Lucha Bros. That was on Dynamite in February earlier this year. Adam Cole versus Tommaso Ciampa Takeover. You'll notice that we haven't got any NXT in the list.
No.
Dude, it's bizarre. Normally, these lists are stacked with takeover matches, but I don't feel like they've delivered as they have in previous years.
No, we've definitely seen a drop, and I think the ratings reflect that between AEW and NXT this year. I think there's been a definite drop in quality. I think COVID has also affected that. NXT, of course, had numerous breakouts, which we can't ignore, where other promotions fortunately managed not to do that. So WWE and NXT were particularly bad for outbreaks, which obviously meant for certain performers could not perform. But Cole and Tommaso Ciampa speaks for itself. Cole, is the only guy legitimately I could say. Realistically, I joke about Dolph Ziggler, and I always have to mention Dolph Ziggler as a talented performer, but I think Adam Cole is legitimately the one that can lay claim to being the next Shawn Michaels, in terms of the skill set. Tommaso Ciampa is the quintessential modern wrestling heel. Man. This was a brilliant bit of work from both guys.
Certainly was.
Good bit of storytelling and more chemistry, I would venture to say, than Gargano and Ciampa in their matches.
I don't know about that personally, but I think it was very good. Laredo Kid versus Kenny Omega at AAA Mania. That was absolutely outstanding this year. Kenny Omega just had that mad week where he was on Impact. He was defending the AAA belt at AAA Mania. He won Moxley for the title. Just a mad week for Kenny Omega, and one of the biggest sort of moves of wrestling happening there. And then the final honourable mention, because Dom's asked me to put it on, and we couldn't disagree more on this, Dom. What is it?
The honourable mention, Anthony, and this would have been in my top 10, but because we are a democracy here on the Gimme a Whole Year Wrestling podcast, I agreed to have it in as an honourable mention.
It's a dictatorship.
It's not a dictatorship. Who's the dictator, Anthony?
Me.
Well, I have to allow you to be the dictator, and I don't allow it. is the Firefly Funhouse match.
Great.
Between John Cena and Bray Wyatt.
But it wasn't really a match, though, was it? It was just an extended promo.
It was a match in the same way that the Randy Orton Fiend match was a match.
That was a match because they had a ring bell in it, and it had some wrestling in it.
They had a 3 count.
Yeah, it had some wrestling in it.
They had a 3 count in this one.
Yeah, I mean, it was a promo, really, but yeah, go on.
It was a 3 count.
It was a promo.
So it was a win. Bray Wyatt beat John Cena in
It's a very good promo.
Really entertaining. Reimagining John Cena in the NWO, playing on all of Cena's insecurities. It was fantastic character work from Bray Wyatt, and brilliant work from Cena. They both worked very hard on this match together, and a testament to both of their creative minds, particularly
Bruce Pritchard's creative mind as well,
and Bruce Pritchard's creative mind, but particularly Bray Wyatt's.
No, probably more Bruce Pritchard.
Anthony, you have agreed to put this on the list, so please.
I've agreed to put this on the list to bloody argue with you, love.
No, listen to me, right? It was one of the best matches of the year, one of the most inventive matches of the year, with one of the best characters of the last 10 years in The Fiend Bray Wyatt, and John Cena, who is, of course, probably one of, if not the greatest sports entertainer of all time. It was absolutely phenomenal, and it was better for me than the Boneyard match. It was more creative, more fun, more entertaining, more sports entertainment. It was a delightful match from start to finish for me, and so that's why it's in the honourable mentions, and it should be in the top 10, but there we go. Thank you very much. Good night.
Before we go on to our number 1 pick, do you need to change your knickers or anything like that?
No, I don't need to change my knickers. I'm just saying it was a good...
Just checking.
It was a good match.
Our number 1 for 2020, I think it's pretty obvious now.
This was agreed. Between both of us unanimously. And for those people that do not watch NXT UK, if you are happening upon this channel, Anthony watches it most every Thursday on the channel and streams it. This was the greatest showcase internationally for NXT UK there has ever been in its entire history, and possibly the greatest showcase, the greatest modern showcase, Anthony, of modern. I know that neither of the guys were British, but they're working in the UK division. They are both European guys. But the greatest showcase of European wrestling in as long as I can remember.
Ilya Dragunov versus Walter for the NXT UK Championship. What a match. A match I can... I think last year our match of the year was Cody and Dustin. There's certain matches you can just go back and watch again and again and appreciate the tidiness in this. This isn't the type of match that I'd normally enjoy. I don't necessarily enjoy brawly matches and stuff like that. I prefer technical matches. This was beautifully done. It was 2 men having a brawl with beautiful transitions between every single spot. Yeah. And there was at no point you believed that these men weren't trying to kill each other. In many respects, I think it's probably one of the most dangerous matches of the year as well, because, I mean, the slaps they were putting on each other's face looked like they were trying to knock each other out. But my God, it was outstanding. And if you haven't seen it, you have to see it. It's bloody brilliant. It's bloody brilliant. And an absolute credit to NXT UK. I think it is the best match in NXT UK history, possibly better than Tyler Bate and Walter. But I mean, that again, another crazy, great match. NXT UK is outstanding. And on our channel, man, we've got interviews with several of the superstars. So check out our interviews folder for that, or playlist for that. But this match, wow. Yeah,
amazing. And a great testament to its legacy. Is the fact that there was people, WWE made, probably not made is the wrong phrase, but they arranged videos with Drew McIntyre and Sheamus to watch it, to do a watch along. They arranged, Cesaro commented on it. They had main roster superstars all talking about how great this match was. So they obviously had a lot invested in this match, and they realized what a great showcase it was for NXT UK.
Well, our videos, Tom, we saw it in our videos. This got the wrestling world talking, and the wrestling world talking about NXT UK, which is brilliant for the promotion. Our videos normally do about less than 100 sometimes, some weeks on NXT UK in terms of people watching. This one, well over 1,000, like 1,500 or something daft like that. it's a brilliant match, and I think that everyone that's seen it can agree.
So entertaining, and a great. We haven't seen Ilya Dragunov since then, and I know he's teasing a character change
He took his lens out.
Yeah, for 2021, and obviously Walter continues to do great work, putting even in victory, helping to put over stars like A-Kid. Or R-Kid to the
R-Kid.
who we also have an interview with on the channel, so go check that out.
Yes, we do.
But yeah, so both of these guys, I expect amazing things from in 2021.
Dude, that's been an awesome list. Thank you so much for spending time working on that with us, Dom. And that is the Gimme a Hull Yeah official list that doesn't include the Firefly Funhouse, just so we can all establish that.
It does include it.
It doesn't.
In the Honourable Mentions.
It doesn't matter. Honourable Mentions don't matter.
It does matter.
Every match gets an honourable.
If it doesn't matter, why are the Honourable Mentions in?
I don't know. We can take it out if you want. I'll edit it out. No worries.
What? No, you
can
won't.
edit it out. Don't worry.
This is the raw, open, honest list, right? Which should include in the top 10 directly the Firefly Funhouse, but it doesn't. It's an honourable mention because me and you agreed on it because we're in a democracy, not a dictatorship, unlike many other aspects of your existence.
Whoa!
Yeah,
guys, I know that we haven't included all of your favourite matches, and so I want you to write down in the comments below what are your favourite matches, what have we missed off. Let us hear your top 10, top 5 straight in the comments below. It'd be awesome to get all of your feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. Look forward to it. Post in the Discord. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, /Gimme a Hull Yeah. Let us know your matches.
OnlyFans.
We don't have an OnlyFans.
We should.
Why should we?
Make some money.
No one would pay for that.
Make some money.
Why would anybody pay to watch me and you, getting our hairy asses out on?
Well, you don't have to do that. You don't. I mean, it's interesting how you turn it straight onto sex. Zelina Vega doesn't get her ass out on OnlyFans. She dresses up in outfits. Maybe
Zelina Vega's a multi. She's a celebrity, Anthony. We are not.
But you look like Seth Rollins. We could cosplay as Seth Rollins, and I'll cosplay as Becky Lynch.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll take that under advisement.
How come at you?
We'll consider that.
How come at you, Dom? Higher. How come at you?
Please don't do that accent. We'll consider that for 2021, Anthony.
Sounds perfect. If you've enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more wrestling content. Dom, count us down.
You look like you're having a poo. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm ready for one. Right, let's go.
Go in. You can say it. You can say it for a change.
This is stopping in 2021, man.
Hull yeah.
We need to come up with something better.
It's not. It's the most entertaining thing we've got. Hull yeah.
This is Big E from the New Day. Give me that Hull yeah. Give it to me. I need it.